just sit here and then like run through an episode.
Is it going now? Is that it?
No, yeah. See, yeah, it's coming up on my end here. Okay, it says it's live on YouTube now. Like I said, if it reconnects, then it's whatever, and we can just keep it rolling.
Right.
Because, like I said, that's like the. I was about to say that's the upside of this whole. Yeah, see, it's coming back. That's the upside with. There used to be a time where I only did this and it went straight to YouTube and nothing else. So
Right.
if that something like that would have happened, it would have really like fucked up all the shit, and I would have to like restart shit and do things all over. But because this is like a whole third party kind of process here, and it's like casting out to two different things at one time and things, it's just gonna take up. It's gonna take a second to catch up here, but it's gonna catch up.
It looks like people are starting to mob back in here.
Yeah, we're back up in here. It's
Yeah.
Sorry guys, it's not. I'm a fucking truck driver. I'm just doing. I got tin cans over here, clinking it together, trying to make things work. I got little. I was about to say something that's probably considered offensive, but I got dwarves. No, I can't say that either. But there's people underneath the desk working on all the computers. There's hamsters in the wheels. Making
Hamsters
sure. See, yeah,
in the wheels.
we're back.
Wheels with the hamsters.
There would have been a time where I would have been really freaking out right now.
Why isn't this working?
Why isn't this working?
Fuck!
I just rode the storm, baby. You just gotta ride the storm.
You know,
Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's still gonna record all of that, even though they left or like they got cut off from it. It's still gonna record everything.
so it's just gonna be us bullshitting.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So
especially like if you're listening to this on audio, this is gonna be strange. But whatever. If you are listening on this on audio only,
they're gonna be able to
Come
hear
over
me
to the-
picking my nose.
come over to the YouTube and the Twitch. Yeah. See, like fuck off says, Riders on the Storm. Like fucking Need for Speed Underground 2, boy. That was a great fucking game. Great fucking game. Anyway. Yeah, I was complaining about booking cards, but also I'm gonna complain about fucking like, dude, I fucking like I got like a full-time job and shit. Like, I'm doing the fucking best I can with all this shit. Sometimes folks be like on dumb things. Like, really, man? Like, I don't like a certain angle to this. I'm like, sorry, I'll adjust shit next time. What do you expect from me? Like, I'm a hobbyist.
Angles to what? Like angles
Like the battles and shit. Like when it comes to like a specific direction on things, I'm like,
there's only a couple angles that you can get on a battle.
I don't know, man, but like I'll listen to a lot of shit at a certain point, but at a certain point too, it's like, dude, like I said, I'm a
angle, man. You got to stand at that angle. You can't
like,
just
dude,
like be
I've
at
been-
the angle once the camera shoots it.
I've been at events where motherfuckers are recording off of like old ass camcorders and fucking cell phones and shit. Like, come on, man.
I was just talking to Drax, I think, at the fucking event, because we were talking about how crazy it is with the technology and the fact that people can actually just record with their camera on their phone nowadays, and like actually get away with it because the camera quality on the phone is actually pretty decent.
I mean, you probably
And
really could.
You really can. People be doing it, and
If you have a
I was
good
just,
enough phone.
Yeah.
Like people will think, oh yeah, my shit's all right.
Yeah, no, definitely make
Probably
sure.
not.
If it's a flip phone that you just got still like that you're hanging on to somehow, some way, don't be using
I mean,
that.
even
But
most smartphones now too. Like I had an S8 Plus.
actually, I take that back. If you still have a flip phone, definitely use that. You could get some like retro sort of grains for sure in that bitch, and it'll look fucking fresh as fuck.
Right.
But yeah,
No, yeah, my shit. Fuck this shit right here takes 4K fucking video.
I have no idea what kind of video my phone takes.
To where it's just
I just know my phone calls people and it takes pictures, and like I get to watch fucking videos and shit on it. And I can call people. That's as far as my my phone knowledge goes.
Yeah. I don't know. Apparently, I just got an email that the last stream was cut
Hi,
off.
Pixie.
So if that's the case, I'm just gonna like take these 2 episodes and splice them together. So if you're listening to this on the audio, it's gonna be even more weird.
Dude, fucking
It's gonna be like
videos are gonna do the fusion dance.
This is like the Quentin Tarantino episode of Ryne Radio. I don't know. Blame
How appropriate.
Blame OBS or blame Restream or blame my internet or blame whatever the fuck. At least this didn't happen when we were streaming the battles, because we had like a good amount of folks tuned in and watching that shit.
Were you guys live streaming the battles too? Oh, you're talking about Saturday. Yeah, my bad. I thought you meant like at the event. I was like, we were live streaming that shit. I didn't know we were live streaming that shit. How did we live stream that shit?
No, I mean, like, you know, it's the same
We
setup.
have the technology.
I was doing this shit last Saturday, and that shit went off pretty fucking good.
Yeah, you had a lot of people in the chat, man. You had like 40, 50 plus people in the chat.
No, and I appreciate you guys for fucking doing that. And also, if you want to run that shit back, that's available now on the Patreon. Because, you know, I think it'd be kind of weird if I left that up as well, to where it's like, because the first time I ever did this, people would direct everybody to that video and be like, "Oh, my battle's at such and such thing." So I'm like,
the Patreon, or what are you talking about?
like when we would like judge the battles live.
Oh,
They'd be like, "Oh, hey, my battle." Like they would share that live judging thing to their people, and then just be like, "Oh, just watch from this thing to this thing." I'm like, I understand why you're doing that, but you're devaluing yourself and not driving views to when your individual drops. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, there's still gonna be that drop of when it's just your battle.
yeah.
Like, so it's like to drive people to just the judging decision video. I'm like, you're kind of fucking yourself a little bit.
It's definitely harder to do that. I try to get people to just watch as much as I can, though, just because, like,
and that's another thing.
I feel like if you, the more people you get into it, and the more people that will, or I mean, the more people you spread the word to that are willing to get into it, you know, the worst they can do is say, "Oh, I'm not gonna get into that because it's too long of a video."
Yeah, or they're like, "Oh no, just go to this minute." It's like,
yeah, when it gets to if you have to go that far with it, it's like it's too much.
Yeah, it's too much.
But
so and then when it is like the individual drop, you're taking advantage of like driving the views, because that's gonna be like, views aren't really a fucking a really good marker of shit, especially now. But you know, it does still have some significance.
Yeah, it could mean something, but it could just be bought nowadays. It's kind of weird.
Well, the problem is I think it used to be all bought back then, to where I think the reason why like views are lower now is, for one, people just don't even be watching shit that's all along. That's one. And then two, I think it's just like people aren't on YouTube as much like as they were then, to where like then it was like before, like, you know, companies took over like the ad revenues and all that shit, and like all regular YouTubers couldn't really make the same sort of money that they could before. Like in those days, those fucking like epic mealtime kind of days and shit like that, when people can just do whatever they want and then advertise it the fuck and make hella money like that. Fucking whatchamacallit. I think some of those people, obviously not like them shit, but I think a couple of those like type of folks, they're the ones that like be bought like hella views like that. Because I just like, I don't understand how YouTube is more accessible now than it ever has been, but somehow there's like less viewers on shit. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Like there's lots
I can
of
watch
subscribers
anything I want on YouTube from my phone on a like instant command, like because of 5G or like Wi-Fi somewhere, right?
Okay.
Whereas like, how is it that the older shit, now I understand like accumulative views long term, that's why it can have a lot of shit, but like initially back then when shit would just hit like 1 million in a like couple weeks, like I don't know if fucking folks are really fucking with a lot of underground shit like that to that extent. Because it's like, if they were, wouldn't it still be like that?
I don't know.
That's what I mean, though. It's like before there was like that sort of fucking putting the foot down, so to speak, on like how that ad revenue shit was established. channels could make a lot of money in ad revenue, and it didn't matter what the content of your channel was. So as long as you can build a subscriber base, that's all you fucking needed to do. So it's like, if you have shit that has a certain amount of views, it hits certain algorithms to where it's just like anybody had the access to do that before. Whereas it's like now nobody really has that same access to the ad revenue through the YouTube channel. So that's why, like, you know, I think that's why there's like a disappearance of some shit. Cause it's like, I don't believe this shit is more or less popular than it was 10 years ago.
I mean, maybe that is the case, you know, maybe it's, I mean.
Cause look at caffeine. Caffeine's killing it with the URL shit.
True.
And it's like, nobody fucks with caffeine at all for like anything else. And they don't even, if we all had our way, caffeine wouldn't be in charge of fucking how they film their shits and whatnot. And then they just, you know, they hear all the complaints. So then they just keep trying to fucking emulate avocado style more and more. But they obviously show, because they get a good amount of traffic when they go live, of people watching the fucking shits. So I'm just like, I don't know. I think there was like more bots and shit then than there was really now. Like, I think it's still there. I think just people are more wise to it now, so it's just not like what it was before.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
You think like the bots have been here, but now people are like, oh, well, that's just technology. That's the reason that the views are like that.
Well, yeah, and you can tell on certain shit too when it's like there's hella views but not a lot of comments.
Yeah, you can totally
shit
tell.
Like that. But it's like people learn that over time, but it's like they didn't at first.
Yeah.
So it's like you would like see something and be like, oh goddamn, this got like 1 million views. Holy fuck. And then like, you know,
look at all these likes.
Or just whatever the fuck.
The no comments.
But it's like it could just be, well, you know, but I don't know. I'm fucking kind of rambling a bit. I don't really remember what our initial point was here.
I don't even know what the point was, but I'm here and we doing
bought
this.
bots like view bots for some sort of reason.
View bots, because you should view bots, and
because we were also talking about the Patreon, and we were talking about just like how views
don't really matter, but they do.
They don't matter, but they do. Okay, they don't matter, but they do. But I think the reason why they seem less now is I think it's actually much more representative of who's actually in tune with the shits. You know what I mean? Like, I think people have learned all the fucking tricks to like the view buying and shit like that, to where it's like that shit's kind of been weeded out.
Okay. I see where you're coming.
That's what I'm like. Maybe that's just a fucking long-winded conspiracy theory, but I don't think fucking, like I said, I don't think shit's like more or less fucking popular, because it's like fuck off saying like people love free battles. So where it's just like when you go live, people tune in.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
So it's like they don't necessarily matter monetarily, but if you want to make money, you need views.
Exactly.
So yeah, but that's if you're a content creator on YouTube. If you're a battle rapper, the views aren't necessarily a make or break situation for why you should be booked.
I mean, like, maybe, well, yeah, okay, so, like, you could have views and be fucking absolutely terrible, and so that's definitely something that I would take into consideration for sure, but, like, I definitely think views would help one, like,
it
fucking,
definitely, it's a
metric, pick who they want to pick.
It's a metric of some sort for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, like, it doesn't come into play absolutely at all, but it's like, unless you're in that range of getting like hundreds of thousands and more, I think anything below that is just kind of like, you know, like, it's like, all right, you know, like you'd have to like be doing something consistently to where it's like, all right, you actually have a following. But even then though too, I don't know. I think it's a fucking huge fucking nuanced gray area. Assad says, nah, the views create avenues to make money apart from the views, if that makes sense. Build your brand and use those avenues. Well, no, yeah, see, I understand that part, but it's like, at what level can someone really claim in a battle that the views that drove people to that battle, they are responsible for? who's really responsible for the views of a battle? Is it the battlers in the battle, or is it the promotion of the way that they promote it and the way they present it?
I definitely think
with the talent, like it's in it's in correlation for
yeah.
sure.
It's definitely like it's got to be a mix of everything. I think the battlers for sure should be you know, promoting their content. But as the brand, they've definitely got to promote the battlers too, because like, why the fuck else are they there if they're not going to get the promotion or the recognition they deserve, or at least like, you know, at least to the minimal standard, like at least like, you know, fucking get their name right on the flyer or something, you know?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really thought of it in that kind of way of like who's like the most responsible for gathering like the views on the battle, because it's like when all elements are working properly in terms of promotion and the way it's presented and then how the talent does.
Yeah, I mean that
like who,
that
like,
all goes into
no one
factor
can
for
take,
sure.
No one can take like sole responsibility of that, I think. But at the same time, what is Assad saying? Assad saying Hitman has views, but look how far he's going with his fan base on